Hello everyone and welcome back to Cupid Parasite. We are going to finish Ryuki's route, yay! With the endings. I guess we finished his route. We're going to do the endings with all the bad ends and see what happens. But I am really excited. I have my answers pulled up now. December 31st, New Year's Eve. I was spending the evening at Ryuki's place, so I guess they got engaged December 24th and now it's New Year's Eve. So actually it wasn't for New Year's Eve, it just so happens it was also Ryuki's birthday. The day of the proposal, I was getting ready to leave his place to get ready for work that day when he shyly asked,
ねえ、仕事は12月29日までなんでしょ？なら31日は空いてる？
Oh yeah, I'm totally free. Since we can't spend Christmas together, we can make it New Year's Eve instead.
年末のお祝いなんかしないでさ。その日は僕の誕生日を祝ってほしいんだ。
Huh? Your birthday is December 31st? I tried to recall his profile card, but the colorful letters were so overwhelming that it was hard to remember what they actually said.
そうなんだ。おかげでいつも年越しのお祝いと一緒にされてた。
I know exactly how you feel. My birthday is 3 days after Christmas, so it just kind of gets all wrapped up into one.
だからさ、あんたには僕の誕生日だけを祝ってもらいたいんだ。
When someone asks you something like that so seriously, how can you not take it at just as serious in response? So I took some time after that to take a last-minute cooking class, and I've been looking up different recipes. Oh, she's gonna cook for him. Here you go, Ryuki.
おお。
He looked at all the food adorning the table and gave a small sigh.
何これ？二人で食べきれるの？
I guess I maybe did get a little carried away. The table was lined up with all kinds of festive food. I thought Japanese would be a nice addition, so I made teriyaki sushi to go along with the other Western dishes. But then I researched more and found some articles about tempura, fried chicken, and even Japanese-style pizza, fried chicken. I got into it more and more, and before I realized there was a mountain of food in front of me. Actually, there's still some gratin cooking in the oven.
もう張り切りすぎ。
He said that, but he was smiling happily as he did.
全部僕の誕生日のために作ってくれたんだよね。
That's right, I wasn't sure what kind of food you liked for your birthday, so I basically just made everything.
あんたが作ってくれたなら何でもごちそうだよ。じゃあ早速食べていい？
Yes, let's eat.
いただきます。
After clasping his hands together, he grabbed his utensils and started eating. He started with a big bite of fried chicken and his eyes lit up.
おいしい。
Really?
うん。これ醤油とみりんで下味つけてある？よくロサンヨークで手に入ったね。
I found a really amazing international food store in the city.
そっか。
With a sincere smile on his face, Ryuki finished his fried chicken. Since his birthday normally got overlooked thanks to New Year's, I wanted today to be all about him.
そういえば子供の頃は唐揚げ好きだったっけ？
Oh yeah?
母さんが唐揚げ好きでさ、子供の頃よく父さんが頑張って作ってたのを見てた気がする。でもおばあ様の指導が始まってからは僕だけ計算員本家で暮らしてたからさ、揚げ物とか食べなかったんだ。
Is that another one of the 10 Keisein commandments?
そう、おばあ様の料理は美容特化だったからね。
Enhancing beauty. I see. I wonder if I'll be able to follow those family commandments of yours. I thought that from now on I should try to become a Keisein as much as possible, When I muttered that, Ryuki started to cough. Are you okay?
あんたが変なこと言うから。
You don't have to become a Keisain. Huh? Did I say something weird?
あんたが警査員になるって。確かにそうなんだけど、不意打ちだったから。
Ryuki's face had turned bright red.
あんたはそのままでいいよ。別に10か条守らなくていい。守りたい人間だけやればいいんだよ、あれは。それに僕もあんたの世界で生きたいから。こんな美味しい唐揚げの味も忘れてたしさ。これはこれで美味しいのにもったいなかったって思うんだ。だからあんたはそのままでいて。
Riley Ryuki devoured the other dishes in front of him. He cared about health and beauty, but he was still a growing boy. Maybe he hadn't been eating enough up until now. Okay, well, there's plenty here for both of us, so please eat up.
うん、いい誕生日だな。あんたもいて、ごちそうも美味しくて。
He continued to happily gobble up whatever he could reach. Thank goodness, I'm so glad he likes it. Seeing his happy face made me happy too. A few hours later, we decided to save the rest for the next day, and we shared a leisurely cup of tea after dinner.
ああ、さすがに食べ過ぎた。
You didn't have to eat it if you didn't want to.
あんたが作ってくれたって思ったら、どれも食べたくなっちゃったんだよ。
You really ate everything on the table? I see. Well, I'm glad to know that you approve of my cooking, Ryuki.
うん。ところで、いつまでその呼び方なの？
Do you want to be called Ryuki-kun? Huh? What do you mean?
あんたも警査員になるんでしょ？
How's it different? He stared at me with a slight look of embarrassment. He seemed to genuinely appreciate how I treated him like his own person, not as an idea or his family namesake. I think I understand, but it's just us here now, right? I hope you don't mind.
龍騎でいい。
Okay, got it, Ryuki.
それで。
Since it's not really translated in English, I'm sure she was probably calling him by his last name up until now, and now she's switched to his first name. He couldn't seem to say more than that. He turned his face away. His entire face was bright red, even up to his ears. He's the one who said he liked how I said his name. He was still just as shy as ever. I smiled as I came up and hugged him from behind. Ryuki.
お、なんだよ。
It just felt like saying your name.
あんま可愛いことしすぎないでよ。
Ryuki looked back at me with a sigh. Just then we heard a commotion from outside. Oh, what's all that noise? What's going on? Why do you have to interrupt?
そうね。
I looked at my watch and saw that it was almost 11 p.m. Oh, that's right, everyone must be getting ready for midnight. In Lost York, everyone liked gathered outside to celebrate the new year. There was live music, fireworks, all kinds of activities. We also did a countdown in Toyam's Square, so the entire city was about to get crazy. Ryuki looked out the window and started to pout at the scene outside. But it's my birthday today. I could practically hear him saying that.
Huh?
Wait right here. I ran to the kitchen to open up the fridge where the cake I made was waiting. Grab this and the candle. Oh, he's turning 20. Oh, so that's why he wanted to wait till he was 20, because it was only like 4 days away. 5 days away. I stuck the candle in the cake and lit it. Once it was ready, I made my way back to the living room. Here you go, Ryuki, your birthday cake. I placed the cake on the table and he burst out laughing.
何それ、子供じゃないんだから。
He looked down at the candle in the cake. It was shaped like the number 20, and I decorated the cake to emphasize the number in the middle. Huh? You don't like it, but I found an article that said this is what you're supposed to do on someone's birthday.
こんなのするのは小学生ぐらいまでだよ。ほんと、あんたって面白いことばっかするよね。
Why wouldn't you question that? You should question why would you have needed an article to tell you what to do? Because she's not from here or from Earth, but no one ever picks up on that. I wonder if one of these routes someone's going to ask her where she's from. We didn't celebrate birthdays in Celestia, so I looked this up online. I guess it was a website for kids. Oh, I see. Now that you mention it, how are we supposed to eat it like this? So the image of the lit candle on the cake was really something else.
でも綺麗だ。あんたが泊まってくれた日みたいでさ。電気消してみてみたいな。いい？
Not at all. Riki turned the lights off and the candle light floated delicately through the darkness. Wow.
綺麗だね。
It is. He was right. It completely reminded me of the night the power went out. As the light flickered, we sat down together on the sofa and just admired the lovely scene. Your candle's gonna melt all over your cake.
このケーキもあんたが作ってくれたの？
Of course.
こんなに頑張らなくてもいいのに。本当に嬉しい。僕のためだけにこんなにしてくれて。僕はずっと服だけを相手に生きてくんだって思ってたのにさ。こんなに祝ってもらえるなんて思ってなかった。
He sounds like he was about to cry. I glanced at him and saw that his eyes were glistening, maybe from the candlelight. I put my hand on his shoulder and just kept watching the candle. Of course, it's the birthday of the man I love. Maybe I overdid it, but it was to make the love of my life happy, so I'm glad that you like it. Seeing him so happy was all the reward I needed.
あんたを好きになれてよかった。
I heard him whisper that, then turned to meet that serious gaze of his. As if drawn together by an invisible force, we gently pressed our lips together. A silent kiss, almost like a ritual. I opened my eyes and saw the fiery look in his eye, then... Oh my goodness. Wow. This is rated T, right? He grabbed my arm and guided me down onto the couch. He pressed against me and kissed me again, harder this time. His kiss up until now had been gentle and reserved, but now it was becoming deeper and stronger.
Ne, もう一度名前呼んで。
Ryuki. A kiss unlike anything I'd ever experienced before. I whispered his name so only he could hear. The kiss nearly stole my breath away. My mind became hazy. It was the most passionate kiss I'd ever experienced, like a wild beast. He licked his lips and pulled me in even tighter. I grabbed his shirt tightly and clung to him as he kissed me madly. Wait.
待たない。あんたが僕を煽ったんでしょ。後ろから抱きついたりしてさ。
Oh my goodness. He did this to me. Stirred up his manly passion. Whispering in a rough voice, Riki quieted my objections with another kiss. Really? Did I do this? She's asking herself. It's not like I wasn't expecting it. After all, Claire's told me all about this kind of thing. You need to blow out your candle. If you don't, your wish won't come true. Oh, she didn't say that to him. Dang it. I read that online. If you blow out all the candles in one breath, your wish will come true. In ancient Greece, people used to pray to Diana, the goddess of the moon. Sometimes they prayed when a child was born. They light a candle, put it out, and as the smoke rose, the prayer would come true. I might have been a god once, but I had fallen in love with a human, so I'm not Cupid anymore. I gave Ryuki a pleading look. He just smiled and put his lips to mine again.
僕の願いならここにあるよ。
Huh?
でももう一度祈ろうか。あんたとずっと一緒にいられますようにってさ。
You want 2 wishes, now you're being greedy. Sitting up slightly, he took a deep breath and blew out the candle. Well, at least he cooled off a bit. I wasn't sure how much longer this was gonna go on. The rising smoke glowed, a soft light in the moonlight streaming in from outside.
もう20歳になったから遠慮しないよ。
Nope, you are no longer a teenager. Ryuki ran his hand through his hair and gave me a sexy smile. Now he's posing for you. His lips came close again, and I closed my eyes and accepted the kiss happily. The necklace around my neck fell away with a soft sound. It was all the proof I needed that I was no longer a god, just a normal human woman. As the candle smoke faded, I made a wish of my own. We kissed until the new year drew to a close, praying that we would always be together. There you go. They got their happily ever after New Year's Eve celebration. Just them two. Okay, now we're back to
へえ、
loading
あんたの
screen.
ラブタイプもエロスだったんだ。
And we're going to load.
ロードするのか。ああ、構わない。どの瞬間でも私は SS だからな。
Like, that's... I haven't read anything as devious as since Color X Palace. Okay. I know what I'm doing wrong. I'm supposed to be going after the happy ending. Okay, so it says to load save file 4. And I'm going to ask more. We're going to ask how to eat in auto. So, do I just eat it as it is, or do I dip it in something like dipping french fries in ketchup? I decided to ask him so that I knew exactly how I was supposed to eat it.
一般的にはご飯にのせて食べるかな。フライドポテトは高カロリーだから食べないし、そもそも和食じゃないしね。
Oh, good point. I keep comparing things to what I'd get on the local diner. Well then, let's try to eat it with some rice. I took a scoop of natto and dropped it onto my piping hot rice, then took a nice big bite. This is actually really good. It has a really soft, gentle texture. It reminded me of the first time I had cheese and yogurt after arriving in the human realm. It had an exotic taste for sure, but not bad at all. Or maybe my natural curiosity was trying to convince me.
日本人以外にも食べる人いるんだ。
Ryuki looked at me with surprise.
っていうか、ロサンヨークに来てから納豆食べる人見たの初めてだ。
There we go. Skipping to the next choice. Yes. Okay. Ryuki wants to go on a date with me. I'm going to accept. Because this is going to go to the normal end. And we've already read what happens when you accept. And I'm going to go to the next choice, which is I think at the park. Or not at the park, but on their date. I thought to distract us, so I pointed at a food cart nearby, but my choice came out a little louder than my voice. But my voice came out a little louder than I expected. And instead of a crepe, we want bubble tea. Oh. Oh, I want to have some bubble tea. I heard everyone's been Instagramming them lately. He pointed to the bubble tea place, otherwise known as a tapioca milk tea. It's high in calories, but it looks really nice, so I figured the glamour press site wouldn't mind it too much.
写真のために食べ物を選ぶ感覚ってよくわからないけど、 あんたが飲みたいならいいんじゃない？見に行こう。
He was a little negative, but I appreciate the enthusiasm. We looked over the menu together when we got to the shop. Oh, they also sell crepes here. Everything looks so good. As soon as I said it, I realized my mistake. A cream-filled crepe probably wasn't appealing to a healthy, conscious guy. He probably thought our crepe was too creamy and fatty. But even though I prepared for an insult, Ryuki just smiled.
いいんじゃない？せっかくのデートなんだから写真映えとか気にせず好きなの食べなよ。
This is the part we didn't see because I skipped too quick. Huh? Okay. A date? I still couldn't get over the word. I stared at the crepe menu, doing my best to hide my emotions.
僕はこのシュガークレープってやつにしてみようかな。あんたは？
I was thinking about the strawberry crepe, and we've seen that afterwards. Oh. I guess I have to keep going.
うん。じゃあ僕が持ってくから。あんたはあそこのベンチで待ってて。
Without giving me a chance to step in, Ryuki put in the order and paid the bill. What can I skip? Oh, wait, okay, never mind. So do I just fast forward into the end then? Because there's no more choices. Let's do that. Okay, I finally figured out how to do the skip thing. We were heading for a Lost Rock Hotel. Ryuki's grandma was waiting for us there, but... Oh, wait now.
やっぱり無理だ。
Ryuki came skidding to a stop before we reached the hotel. He dropped to the ground looking deflated. They didn't even meet the grandma. Are you okay?
全然平気じゃない。おばあ様に会うのが怖い。
That you're...
だっておばあ様は厳しい人なんだ。僕がレディースを作ったなんて知ったら絶対に怒る。下手したら破門かも。計査員じゃないって言われたらどうしよ
う。His voice was weaker than I had ever heard it before. He looked up at me.
ねえリネット、僕と駆け落ちしてって言ったら怒る？
Of course we'll run away with you. Run away? It sounded like a line straight out of one of those movies I watched up in Celestia, or one of our own mythological stories. They ran away for all different kinds of reasons. That's even what people with Paris and Helen in the Trojan War. No, I wouldn't be mad.
本当？
He was looking at me with doubt in his eyes. I nodded at him. Really, I don't care where I go as long as you're there with me.
じゃあ僕と駆け落ちして二人で生きていこう。
This is really cute too, even though he's avoiding his grandma. Ryuki stood up and took my hand. We turned our backs to the Lost Rock Hotel where Ryuki's grandma was presumably waiting for us. We were going to live together somewhere that had no connection to the Keisayen name. So where are they going? But at that moment, we had no idea where that place might be. We headed to my place for the time being, and in the end, we decided to live there together at your place with Claris. I'm home.
おかえり。
Where's Claris? I got home from work to see Ryuki there with dinner waiting for me. I was still working at Cupid Corp. Ryuki had canceled the lease at his store and was selling his Ryuki goods exclusively online. Oh, really? He canceled his store? Dang. Spent most days at home taking care of all the housework. Nice to see you too, Kagura.
ご飯できてるよ。手洗ってきて。
Okay. A little curious what happened to Claris. I went to my room to change and looked at the pictures on the wall. Was Claris really okay with it? She said she was going to look for true love too. That day I brought Ryuki home, I was wearing his wedding dress, so naturally Claris was curious about our relationship. And as a result, I know she came home wearing a dress. Did you guys elope?
ああ、なるほどなるほど。じゃあ私この家出てくわ。ちょうどそろそろ真実の愛を探しに行こうと思ってたしね。
Huh? What do you mean?
ミッションコンプリートってこと。じゃあ2人はお幸せに。
I hope she didn't feel like I was kicking her out. I washed my hands and went back to the living room. As soon as I got a whiff of that delicious Japanese food, my stomach started to rumble. Did you hear that?
聞こえた。
He laughed softly and laid out the food.
そんなにお腹の音で訴えなくてもご飯はたくさんあるから。ほら、食べよ。
Okay. I grabbed my chopsticks, which I'd finally gotten used to handling. Another of our daily meals began. After dinner, I was laying face down in bed, dozing slightly as Ryuki sat on my back. He sat on your back. Every day when I came home, Ryuki would give me a massage. It had become our daily routine. Oh, really? Oh, this feels nice.
あんた肩凝りすぎ。どうやったらこんなになるの？
It's all that desk work.
にしたって仕事中にできるストレッチもあるでしょ。後で教えるから一緒にやるよ。
Thanks.
別に僕にはこれぐらいしかできないしさ。どう？ここは気持ちいい？
Maybe a little more to the left.
こう？
Oh, that's the spot. It's like he's a butler now. He cooks and does her massages. It's kind of strange.
それならよかった。
He sounded slightly embarrassed but continued massaging my back and shoulders. I had nearly fallen asleep again when I heard a small sigh from above me.
面倒かけてばっかでほんとごめん。
Huh? Come on, you don't need to apologize. You've been doing so much for me.
でも僕がもっと立派だったらあんただってこんな肩こらないはずなのに。
I don't see how those are related.
でも僕が嫌なんだよ。もっと大人にならなきゃって思ってるんだけどさ。
I know if you just would have went and saw your grandmother, you would be in a totally different spot right now.
男なのに情けないって思って。
Come on, not this again. Here, let me show you something.
あ！
What is she doing? I grabbed Ryuki's arm, rolled him over onto the bed, and hugged him as hard as I could.
急になんだよ。
Funny, this section is called On the Bed Tonight, and I'm like, okay. Nothing, I just felt like hugging you. Why are you so embarrassed? As usual, his face turned red and he pressed his lips tight in frustration.
ほら、そうやっていつも子供扱いするじゃないか。
She's got her finger up on his chin, that's funny. No, it's because you're so cute, but the truth is I'm not treating you like a kid. If I didn't see you as a fully grown man, I wouldn't have done that, get it? Really? I pointed out that this was a normal thing for couples to do. Ryuki's mouth opened and closed tightly.
ああ、
Slightly.
もうなんであんたの方がそんな余裕なんだよ。
Because you're just shy.
全然ダメだ。かっこよくない。くそ、悔しいな。僕だって、俺だって。
Seriously, you're fine just the way you are.
あんたが侮ってくるからだろ。ああ、もう。
Despite his bright red face, he held me tightly against his body. I could feel his heart pounding even through his shirt. I was probably goading him on like this because I wanted his desire for me to grow more and more. He was carrying all his guilt about feeling too young, like he was a burden. It was hard for him to be proactive. And as his partner, of course, that was frustrating for me. So, Ryuki, you want to make out? Wow, this is completely opposite from the good ending. The good ending, he's just right on top of it and taking the initiative and everything, and now he's just too shy to do anything. I suddenly whispered that to him, and he got the reaction I was hoping for.
僕が言おうと思ってたのに。
He was about to ask, why do you have to ask? You were totally making out with her in the last ending. Didn't even ask. Anyway, I guess I was faster.
あんまそういうことばっかしてると痛い目見せるよ。
He said that with fake concern, then pulled me to him. Not saying that. His kiss had a slight bite to it, and he grabbed my wrist like a kid who didn't want to let go. Like a kid who didn't want to let go. If you're going to treat him like an adult, you shouldn't say stuff like that to yourself. The kiss was rough but cute. He couldn't hide his frustration. I opened my mouth to speak, but he just gave me another deep kiss. It's like he was trying to tell me he didn't like being guided. Well, then just relax and let him take over.
もっと大人になってみせる。そしたらあんたから余裕を奪ってやるから。
As he whispered that to me, his conscious composure left his eyes. Composure, huh? I think this is exactly the face I was hoping to see. Think? Maybe I really was just being mean, but if I wasn't, would he be as cute? I love you, Ryuk.
僕の方がもっと好きだから。
I kissed him aggressively, and he bit my shoulder in frustration. Oh my goodness. Playing in bed, we bit at each other like puppies. Oh my goodness. Why am I reading this? Alternately between kissing and confessing our love. Probably neither of us were very mature, but you can still find happiness that way. It's fine not to grow up till much later. Until then, just enjoy things as they come. That was such a strange ending. Her personality took a 180 turn during that too, which was kind of jarring. Anyway, that's the normal end. So we're gonna go to load save 3.
ロードするのか。ああ、構わない。
3.
どの瞬間でも私は SS だからな。
Wait, is this 3 though? Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah, this is 3. Okay, so instead of a present for him, we're gonna buy a ball for Kagura. Maybe I should buy a new toy for Kagura. I decided that would be my best shot. I headed for a nearby pet shop, feeling good about coming up with such a perfect idea. You think that now, but it leads to a bad end. Alright, that should do it. I put the finely wrapped present into my bag, then headed back to the meeting place. Eventually, I met up with Melanie and we headed to Ryuki's boutique. Hello.
ああ、来たんだ。
Okay, I think we're on skip all. Okay, it didn't take me to the next section, so it took me to the next unread content. Come to think of it, Chi ran away the other day when Kagura barked at him. He really is a scaredy cat. Oh, that's right, Ryuki. I bought Kagura a ball to celebrate the launch of your new lineup.
へえ、ありがとう。
I handed Ryuki the ball, still in its wrapping. He pulled the wrapping off and called Kagura to him.
ほら、カグラ。
That's a really loud toss. Ryuki tossed the ball to her as she happily started playing with it. He watched her wagging her tail back and forth and glanced at each other.
気に入ったみたい。
I'm glad.
じゃあ夕食作ってくるから適当に座ってて。
Okay. Let's see, can I go to the next unread section?
ま、苦手な人も多いし、あんたも無理に食べなくてもいいけど。
We're still talking about the nada here. I pick up the dish in my hand. I'm going to ask how you eat it. Already see.
一般
Says,
日本人以外にも食べる人いる
and the first bad end is called just a ball. Still a ball. After we finished eating, Ryuki looked at me as if he wanted to say something. I got the sense that he wanted me to stay, but I had to work the next day, and I was sure Ryuki was exhausted from the day's activity. I looked out into the garden and saw Chi happily munching on Kagura's food. You really need to stop eating all of her food, Chi. I was sure Kagura would be annoyed if she saw that what she was up to, but then I spotted her happily playing with her ball. So she doesn't bark at him and he doesn't cause a lightning storm. Ryuki and I looked at each other and smiled at Kagura, enjoying the toy I bought for her.
神楽ご機嫌だね
I'm glad she likes her present. Say, would you mind if I took a quick stroll through your garden?
うんいいよ
I headed out to the garden, then secretly grabbed Chi by the scruff of the neck. No, Chi. Come on, Chi, time to go home. I shoved him into my bag and went back to Ryuki, who was holding a bag of clothes. Well, I better get going. Thank you for dinner.
ああうん
Oh, and thank you for the clothes. Once I got outside, I pulled Chi out of my bag. With some of Kagura's food still stuck to his mouth, Chi seemed quite satisfied. Stop eating food that isn't yours, you hear me? He tried to pretend like he didn't understand what I was talking about. It was a very human gesture for a divine beast to make. I'm warning you, if you keep misbehaving, I'll send you right back to Celestia. He violently shook his head back and forth. Apparently, he really didn't want to go back. After a moment, he climbed onto my shoulder and lovingly rubbed his head against me. Sigh, you're such a troublemaker. I didn't know much about divine beasts, but I got the sense that most of them weren't like Chi. Oh well, forget it. Today was too busy. I'm totally beat. I just want to go home. Truth was, I'd nearly fallen asleep back at Ryuki's place. Trying to hold in a yawn, I headed for the subway station. A few weeks later, I wonder how Ryuki's been doing lately. I wonder how these bad ends are going to actually end, because I'm sure it's not like all the other bad ends that I read where the character just dies. I hadn't seen him since that day. I didn't have any specific reason to get in touch, so we hadn't talked for the last few weeks. I'm trying to remember what their relationship was up until now. I guess they were kind of aware of each other. Like, I think the last thing that they really did was play dress up in his shop. So not too close yet. Maybe I'll go to his store again today. I looked at the clock. I had a meeting with Melanie in just a few minutes. I haven't talked to Melanie since she had her own date with Owen. Has it really been that long? I headed for the interview room, but for some reason I wasn't expecting good news.
これ見ました？
As soon as I walked into the room, Melanie held up a magazine article right in my face. It was the fashion magazine Big. I assumed she had found some random interesting article, but as I looked closer, my mouth dropped open. The magazine was open to an article about Ryuki and his trip to the North Pole. What? The North Pole?
新進気鋭の龍騎のデザイナー、掲載員 F 龍騎氏、デザインを極めるため世界一周を決意って書いてあります。
Oh, so he just leaves. I took the magazine and scanned the rest of the article. It said he would do whatever it takes to become a master designer. It said he was planning to go to Europe, Asia, both North and South poles, and even outer space if need be. So his next stop is outer space, huh? There were photos of outfits from his latest collection, but they all looked really bizarre and frankly unwearable.
せっかく素敵なお店を発見できたと思ってたのに。7番街のお店も閉まっちゃってましたし。
Oh, he closed the store.
お気に入りのブランド選び、また最初からやり直しです。
Melanie looked at the floor, clearly disappointed. I hid my surprise at what she just told me. You closed your store, Ryuki? It was definitely news to me. I didn't show it, but I was shocked that I hadn't heard anything about it.
こういうことを言いたくないんですけど、これって迷走してるって言うんじゃ。
That makes me kind of sad. It's like, she didn't act too interested in him, so he was like, I'm just leaving. Well, then we just have to cheer him on from here. But she was right, no matter how I looked at it, it seemed like a lost cause. Apparently Ryuki had become obsessed with his pursuit for the perfect design. He was still worried that his grandma would never acknowledge him. But after he came up with that amazing women's lineup, I thought he'd found the fresh start he needed. Unfortunately, this was his choice to make. I had no say in the matter. If I'd gotten to know him better, would he have come to me about this? Yes, he would have. I already read it. But the question was pointless. The fact of the matter was he didn't come to me. He made his decision on his own.
やっぱり私におしゃれなんて無理だったんです。オーエンさんとのデートでも失敗しちゃいましたし。
Oh, really? Her date didn't go well? Huh, really?
はい。オーエンさんは普通のスーツだったから、私ばっかり気合い入れすぎてたみたいで、恥ずかしくて。
I thought the phone call about Owen going there was before even Melanie did.
全然何も喋れませんでした。オーエンさんからも何の連絡もないですし。
It's just a sad ending for everyone.
やっぱり私なんてダメです。少しぐらい見た目変わっただけじゃ何も変わらないんです。
Don't worry about it. I'm still here to help you. I forced myself to smile while I quickly checked Owen's membership status. He canceled his membership. Was the date so bad that he just decided to quit? It was my responsibility to support the two of them and make sure their date was a success, but I failed. The two of them seemed so good together. If I'd hit them with a golden arrow, it would have been true love for sure. Maybe it really is impossible to do this all on my own. I always thought that people would be happy just with a little support from others, but here I was witnessing Melanie's frustration. Everything's going to be okay, I promise. You're going to be just fine.
でも
Miracles do happen, trust me, but I really have to get going. Where'd she
行
go?
っちゃった。
Where is she going? I dashed out of the room, took the elevator down to the lobby, and rushed out of the front doors of the building. I looked up into the sky, no beyond that, to Celestia. I hated to admit it, but I had lost my battle against Dad. In the end, I was just Cupid, the goddess of love. If it was in my power to make people fall in love, then it was my duty to do so and guide them through their troubles. Cupid's bow, please, take me back to Celestia. I touched the bow around my neck, releasing my divine power. The bow emitted a dazzling light and then... The next thing I knew, I was back in Celestia. I kind of think this is funny. It's like she's been doing this for a year. I'm sure she's had people not succeed in that year. But she failed with Ryuki and Melanie. She's like, I quit. It's kind of just as ridiculous as random characters just dying because it's a bad end. Great. Before even taking a moment to feel the emotion of returning home, I ran to the matchmaking spring. She's gonna shoot her, isn't she? While I was in the human realm, if I wanted to help someone fall in love, then I had to be close to them. Owen had entered the land of heartbreak with no idea how to escape, so I come back to Celestia. By taking aim from up here, it didn't matter how far away he was. Owen and Melanie, where are you? She's going to shoot them. Ah, there. Aimed my bow at the spring, drew it back to its full length. It was a pose that hadn't changed one bit since the days of Leonardo da Vinci. Thinking about how familiar the action had become, I let loose. A single arrow split into two, each tearing through the air, and then... bullseye. I pierced the hearts of Owen and Melanie with my twin arrow. I yelled out with joy. Everything would be okay now, I was sure of it. They'd start to miss each other and forget about all the awkward first date. They'd reach out to each other and fall in love. Once they decided to be together, they could work everything out from there, a proper happy ending. I think it's better if I just fulfill my role as Cupid. I'd gone to the human realm to get back at my dad, but in the end, this was what I was truly meant to do. Things were much easier this way. I didn't have to go through all that human-based hassle. In the end, I wasn't able to show Ryuki the true beauty of love. But if he can travel the world, I'm sure he'll be fine. Someday, somewhere, he'll meet his perfect match. Not your mother. And when he did, I knew I'd have to use my arrows to help him fall in love, because in reality, he was painfully shy. So I'd take up my job as Cupid and make as many people as I could fall in love. With my Cupid's bow in hand, I peered into the spring and in search of more good matches. The end. At least no one died. Now we're going to go down to save file number 5. And poor Ryuki, we're not going to go on a date with him. Unfortunately. Wow. We don't say anything, it just goes straight into the bad end. Too young, but too love. Okay, we are going to go have this conversation. What should I do? I knew I had to choose, but I couldn't. I stood there, frozen. I saw that Ryuki's hands were shaking. He was so obviously nervous. He was so serious about asking me out on a date. I knew it was rude to take too long or give him a vague answer. I put my hand on my chest to calm myself down and think properly. His forceful kiss from the other day, the memory of it came rushing back, which strangely helped me calm down. I realized that there was no feeling for love there. My chest did feel tight when I looked at Ryuki, but I realized it was probably just because I was worried about him. In fact, I had always been worried about him, because he's so focused on work he doesn't take proper care of himself. And I felt like he might live his entire life without ever knowing true love. As a goddess, of course, I was worried about him. Like a mother caring for her child, or a god showing concern for his people. I watched over him with pity and compassion. I couldn't imagine being with him. He was so young, and I was a goddess. I'm sorry, Ryuki. I just don't see you that way. I like you, and I respect you as a person, but what I feel for you isn't love. Aw, poor Ryuki. I said how I felt clearly and firmly, and he looked deeply hurt. But then he shook his head to clear it and forced himself to smile.
そっか。ありがとう。返事を聞かせてくれて。ごめん。さよなら。
Oh, he said sayonara. With that, he turned and ran off. I watched him grow smaller and smaller in the distance. Don't worry, I'm sure someday you'll meet someone who can give you the love you're looking for. I decided that his feelings for me were more out of convenience than anything. No, they're not. They're not out of convenience. I just happened to be the first person who was willing to listen to him and not deny him. That was probably all there was to it. In which case, I had no doubt that he could meet someone like that again. And if he could find someone who could take care of him, I would be there to support them. So just hang in there, okay? You'll be fine, I promise. Because the goddess of love was watching over him, so he had nothing to worry about. Ryuki had disappeared from view. I glanced around at the empty street, then turned around. It was time to head home and have a nice hot meal with Clarice. Then I would go to bed, and tomorrow I'd go to work and get back to my Cupidly duties. That was why I was here. That was my mission down here in the human realm. And one day I would return home, because it probably wasn't a good idea for Cupid to be away from Celestia for too long. She just threw her mission to prove her dad wrong, like, out the window. I slowly walked down the street in the city moonlight. I walked into the future, a future where I was sure I could bring happiness to the people around me. Well, that was a really short ending. Okay, so now we're gonna go to...
ああ、構わない。どの瞬間でも私は SS。
あれ？テストをやめるの？
We're gonna take the test. And we're going to answer no to all questions except number 14. So no. See if I remember how to get over there. No. 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 When selecting a partner, do you think your personal history influences your decision? Yes. We're going to be God first, woman second. And how do I end? X. X. I hope I put yes on that last one. And that's it. Was that all?
ええ、大丈夫よ。すぐ集計が終わって結果が出るから。ほら、も
Is it pragma?
プラグマ。実利的な愛ね。相手の経済力、経歴、身分など社会的地位に価値を感じるタイプね。
So she's going to date Mr. Snail now. A practical love, I don't get it.
そうね。この手のテストって深層心理が反映されるから無自覚に計算高いところがあるのかもね。私はいいと思うわよ。
I don't care. I never thought about my own love type before, so this was a good study.
それは良かったわ。まあ作ってる私が言うのもなんだけど参考程度にね。
Let's
結
get to
局
the next unread
男と
section.
女はフィーリングなんだから。
It's taking too long to talk.
今日は助かった。急に彼に連れてこられたんだろう。業務中すまなかったな。
So this was at their little restaurant meeting where she was posing as his wife. And we're gonna say it's all part of the job. Looks like most of the things we say are towards Ryuki's route, except we took the test wrong. Okay, let's skip again. And the one she's most worried about is Ryuki. Okay, wrong button. Skip again.
やっぱりエステごと今じゃ肌の偏差値が5も違う。これだけやればちゃんと偏差値が上がるんだから真面目にやればいいのに。
As he expertly applied the blush, I couldn't help but think of what a pain it would be to do this every single day. So yeah, I went down both areas to see what would he say to both, so sorry is still the correct one. I'm gonna keep going. We're going to not let Gil take the brunt of this. They just had this heated conversation. Got to a manly competition.
そうならよかった。まあ美容には悪いから仕事はそこそこにしてちゃんと寝なよ。
We were going to say that was he embarrassed? This is where that crazy person, where all those weird, very provocative messages on the website. We're going to report her to the police. Same as last time. Out of nowhere, Ryuki appeared from the back. He shot me an icy gaze. The glare was so cold that I thought I'd freeze right there on the spot. Yep, he was definitely angry. What did you do? I actually don't remember what was going on here. We're just going to apologize. I let out a sigh of relief. At least he was willing to come out and see me. I bowed as a way to begin my apology. Oh, that's because some people were saying that as long as the Ryuki, anyone in the Keisaien made the outfit, that they would want to wear it. And she's apologizing for them. Okay, see you. Seeing him hair like that, it made me wonder if he really did have an interest in getting married after all. So he was snooping around in their wedding dress area. If the way he expresses that is through the dress and tuxedos, that's fine. It might be just the catalyst he needs, in fact. We're going to show him around. And we're going to skip to the next unread content, which is going to be Bad End 3. I rushed back, delighted with the wonderful idea I just come up with. Just going to have him go in on a fashion seminar. Bad love match. We're not made for Ryuki. That's weird that it does this for this bad end, but not the other ones. I think it's because we got everything right, but we did the test wrong. Anyway, a few months later, I had decided to start my own business. Oh, really? Good. Sales this month are off the chart. On my way back from my next meeting, I double-checked the data and nodded in satisfaction. I had started a company that put together wardrobes for people who were in the market for marriage. I'd done that one seminar and thought it'd be a shame to leave it at that, so I decided to turn it into its own business. Apparently my instinct was right because it was an instant success. We were profitable nearly from day one, and now we were almost as big as Cupid Corp itself. In fact, I'd become business partners with Cupid Corp's president, Mr. Snail. Oh? I thought she was going to be in the business partner with Ryuki, but Mr. Snail makes sense too. Our next meeting is... I quickly confirmed my appointment time as I walked to meet my other business partner. Oh, is it Ryuki? I was headed for the place called Ryuki on 7th Avenue. Get 2 business partners. Hello, I'm Lynette Mirror from the Mirror Corporation.
Ah, あんたか。待ってたよ。
Why are you talking to him like you don't know him? My other business partner appeared from the back carrying a load of new designs in his hands.
はい、次のシーズンの婚活用ドレスとスーツ。こんなもんでどう？
My word, they're all incredible.
その敬語やめてくれない？あんたに使われると気持ち悪い。
Whatever, that's what you fell in love with in the last. Oh, I'm sorry, I guess it's just a habit.
くせね。ほんとあんたは社長になったんだね。
I think so. I want to support as many people as I can in their search for marriage. If people can find the right look for them, it will help them find love. Ryuki was my secret weapon for giving them perfect advice. If possible, I'd love for him to work exclusively for my company. I'd asked him once before and he turned me down. Apparently he wasn't ready to give up his own successful label. I know, right? So for now, he worked for me as an outside contractor. If I could get him to work for us full-time, I think we could expand our business even more. But I figured he'd just get annoyed if I brought it up again, so I kept my thoughts to myself for the time being. You already told me my battery's low, stop it.
あんたまた僕に社員になってほしいって思ってるでしょ
He's not naive, he sees right through you. And of course he saw right through me, he was as sharp as ever. I can't get anything past you, huh? Yes, I would love for you to join the company. You're an incredible partner after all.
あんたが敬語をやめてくれたら考えてもいいよこの業務提携のおかげでシリウッド俳優の客がうちに増えたのも確かだからね今度のパリコレにも呼ばれたし
Really, that's great. So you just want me to be more casual with you, right?
でもあんたの会社に入ったら今以上に金かかるよ僕素材にはこだわるから
That makes sense. Oh, don't worry. The company is doing well enough. I'm sure I can cover it.
ふんま予算気にせず服作りできるのは魅力的だしねいいよ乗ってあげる契約成立だね
Great. I'm glad to hear it. I'm looking forward to working more closely with you, Mr. Keisayan.
敬語
Way too formal. That's the last time, I promise. Just wanted to show the proper respect. I left and shook his hand to seal the deal. I'll get the official paperwork drawn up right away, and I'll throw in a huge party once it's all signed.
言っとくけど僕はヘルシーな食事しか食べないから
Got it? I just so happen to know a chef that specializes in vegan cuisine.
ほんと顔が広くなったね頼もしい限りだよ
You don't need vegan, you just need Japanese. This would definitely help the company grow, which meant I could help even more people look for love. Everything was coming together nicely. We could start promoting the company using Ryuki's beloved name, and the company would get bigger and bigger. We might have different talents, but as business partners our goals were exactly the same. As long as that was true, I had no doubt that we could work well together. And if that changed for some reason, we could always just dissolve the partnership. After all, you had to be pragmatic if you want to properly run a company. But I knew everything would work out. After all, I was totally dedicated to success just like him. That doesn't seem like a bad end. It seems like an alternate good end or something. Where they're just friends. There's like 2 more endings. There's like common root endings. I'm gonna turn that down a little bit. So the other 2 save files are common roots, which is strange because it's like going back on the love test even and doing no except all for these 2 things. So we're not gonna do the common root ending. I'm actually gonna turn this down even more just in case this song pops up again. Anyway, what I was saying was, if there's not a common root, like in My Next Life as a Villainess, I'll probably include the common root endings in the secret end, which I don't know who it is yet. I've been trying to not pay attention to the intro song, but it's been hard, and I think it might have been spoiled for me, but we'll figure that out when we get there. But if there's no proper common root, then I'll just put the endings there. And we'll just have friendship endings at the end of his ending. Not his ending, but for his ending video, I'll put them in there. Anyway, it's about as long as I was thinking it would be, even with all the different endings. But yeah, Ryuki definitely had a good ending. It was a lot spicier than what I was imagining, but he got his ending. Even if he had to be teased in the normal ending to get it, but whatever. Anyways, I'm excited to get into Mr. Snails. Mr. Snail is next. Ryuki's was good, but I'm also looking forward to the dating your boss thing. I wonder how it's going to be handled in this one. And I want him to finally be outed as Monsieur essay because he never did that in this route. And I'm like, oh, come on. Like, all the hints are pointing towards that you are the person, but no one got them. So now he can finally be outed and she can go down and romance him. Anyway. If you guys did like, drop a thumbs up down below and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.